Good to see you there, Vern. I'm glad you can make the review. And of course, Sparky. Yeah, Sparky, you're into my scotch again. Darn it, Vern, he's got a bit of a problem there. And I know you like to get into the grass once in a while yourself. Well, we finally left the island of Isla after 8 reviews of different distilleries, different bottlings. I needed a change. And I went quite a distance from Isla. I'm actually up in the north end of the island, north of Inverness. This is a distillery I'm not as familiar with as some of the Isla distilleries. In fact, I have had Dalmore before, but it was never my go-to because I always found it rather expensive, and a lot of their bottlings were 40. They were okay. Kind of reminded me a bit of Macallan's at times, but this I've had a few people telling me they were impressed with this. So you know what? I bit the bullet. It's 43% ABV. Let's see if it's going to be a success story or who knows. I do like their bottles. The Stag. And they do have quite a celebrity and a master distiller there, Richard Patterson. He's certainly known as one of the best master distillers, blenders in the world. So let's see what he can do here. See if he can produce a whiskey that is going to agree with my palate. So, to start off with, maybe a little bit of history. Dalmore was started. It was actually started as a highland distillery. It's right on the coast, and it is north of Inverness. And we will find it, and it is right there. But it was started by Alexander Matheson. That was in 1839. And this guy made his fortune with his partner, Jardine Matheson, when their trading firm took over the East India Company, one of the largest companies in the world at that time. And they controlled all the exports in the opium trade into China. And of course, the lease and eventually ownership was taken over by the Mackenzie family in 1878. And it remained family owned until 1960. And in 1960, one of their main customers, White and McKay, where they contributed a lot of their whiskey for their blends, White and McKay took over, and that's why there was a very restricted number of bottlings. In fact, 12-year-old was about the only bottle you would have seen for a good number of years. But in recent years, we're seeing, 12s, 15s, 18s, 25s, if you can afford, a 25. But even the 18s are way up there in price, a lot like Macallan. And they have whiskeys that are 5 figures. So, but now William and McKay, I believe, is controlled by the Filipino company Eparador. And it's really hard to keep track of White and McKay. They seem to go through a lot of change in ownership. So, but anyways, kind of an unusual. It's kind of unusual the type of stills they use in the distillery. There's 2 different sizes, and the shapes are unusual. They have a 13,000 liter capacity in their wash still. They have flat tops. There is an unusual process they go through, and I'm not even going to waste the time to try to explain it to you. You can read about it, but it is certainly different than a lot of the other distilleries. But anyways, they produce a distillate that has been very successful around the world. So in 1917, there's an interesting thing that happened. The Royal Navy used the firth next to the distillery for the manufacturing of mines. These are actually American mines. And in 1920, there was an explosion that pretty much destroyed most of the distillery. And Matheson was in the courts for 6 years with the Royal Navy. It even went to the House of Lords trying to get a settlement. So, you know, kind of an interesting history. And, you know, we basically have a pretty successful and profitable distillery. And I am now going to pour myself a dram. So it told me this would be a relaxer tonight. And we are looking at a sherry finished. In fact, pretty much all your Dalmore are bourbon barreled and then sherry finished. And I believe Richard Patterson is control of the cask picking in that. He's very focused on getting the best casks. So I guess that's what we're paying for in the whiskey. So anyways, let's give it the nose. There is a richness, certainly lots of vanilla, Christmas pudding, and figs, you know, the dark dried fruit. Boy, it definitely has sherry influence. So this is one of the sweeter noses I've experienced. It's even much stronger than the Bunnahabhain that I reviewed, and that can go either way with the palate. I've had strong sherry nose before, and sometimes the palate's not quite what you like. So more figs, very slight bit of floral there. It's almost, I hate to say it, I mean, it's got a great nose, but it's got a little bit of Macallan to it, and that's not maybe the right thing to say, but I almost want to have the Sherry Cask Macallan here and nose the two of them. Yes, definitely strong on the dark fruits. Well, the palate. Nice. Definitely, you can taste the sherry, but I like the strength of this. I think the 43 is a big change. And Dalmore, I've never had a 43. They've all been 40s. It makes a big difference. This has got a lot of body to it. So there's even a tartness. So I'm getting, where I was getting on the palate, I was getting the sweet and the dark fruits. Now I'm getting more tartness, and I'm getting, you know, the blackberries. I'm getting some tangerines. almost a bit of lime mixed with, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Lime custard? No, lime meringue pie. That's what I'm tasting. Not lemon meringue, lime meringue. One of my favorites. This is definitely an improvement in a Dalmore. Richard Patterson, I think he's got it right here. Definitely lots of sweetness. You're getting a little bit of an alcohol burn for 43. Interesting. But not in a negative way. But boy, the sherry coats your tongue. And more tartness. So it's funny how you nose the dried fruits, but I'm tasting more the tartness in the fruits. So more of a fresh taste than the figs and the raisins and the dried fruits. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, you're sort of comparing the nose with the palate here. Well, to the finish. You got a little bit of mixture of almost cereal and fruit now. And it's got a lot of dessert to it. The finish is medium. I've got things still going on here, and still a wee bit of that, more of a lemon custard now. And no signs of peat at all. But a little bit of wood, maybe the cereal notes as well, a little bit of tasting a little bit of the grain. It's nice, it's a balanced drink. And the after notes are, they did last. I don't think I've had a Dalmore that's had a long finish. It's usually, they're 40. This has got a lot of body compared to the other Dalmores I drank. So the other ones were definitely easy drinkers, but this has got something to it. Let's have another little sip. Yeah, I'm impressed with this Dalmore. It's not a disappointment. It's not extraordinary, but it's something I definitely am enjoying it, and I find it delivers what it's advertised to deliver, and it's a Sherry Cask finish. And I've had Sherry Cask finished whiskeys that were they had a decent nose, and then I was disappointed with them, and this one came through. So it's nice to see that Dalmore's got it's got a winner. So it's not extraordinary. It's not doing anything different. It's just doing it right. So it does what it's supposed to. It delivers a sherry finished whiskey that is well balanced. It has a decent nose, a lot of layers, The pellet has a lot of there's a full mouthfeel to it. There's a lot of body to it. I think that this is definitely the direction that Dalmore should head. They will sell me more whiskey if they can make whiskey like that. Now this is not cheap. This is the $150 range for a 12-year-old. So, but you know, I could have paid less for one of their other malts, and I just don't care for them that much. I just don't think they're worth the money. This is worth more at 150 than the others are at 130 or whatever. I mean, they've got some 15s that are well up in the 220, 230 range, just like Macallan. But sometimes a 12 can do as good as a 15. So what can I give this for a score? I'm going to say that the other Dalmores would certainly not be close to this. So 85, 86. You know, the price is the key here. Now we're paying 150, so, but it's a decent whiskey. I think I'm going to stay at 86, and I'm going to call that a whiskey score. So, anyways, that's my review on Dalmore. Thanks for joining me. So remember, do not drink and drive, and drink wisely. And until the next time, cheers.